Hey guys. So today our donations are only open for 30 minutes. I'm going to do my best to be back again today because I've taken the last couple of days off away from live streaming. I've been busy, but I have not been here. So right now, the only thing I can guarantee is 30 minutes today. So if you've been wanting to get a reading with me, now is your chance to do so. We are doing free questions today. It's yes or no for those who are joining us on this live stream. After 15 minutes, the list will close and we'll move on to donations, which will be open for like 28 more minutes. Hey everyone, I can't say hi to every single person, but hello. Let's kick this thing off here for Gustavi. Gustavi, it looks like a yes. I have 8 of Wands. I think Gustavi, this person might have also found someone new, possibly. Amy, I have a no. I have the 10 of Wands. That talks about things being overloaded or overburdened. So yeah, I'm not sure about that. Hey Kevin, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Hood Mystic. I don't think that it's going to change your life either way. I have the 2 of Swords. I don't think it's going to affect anything positively or negatively. If I were to lean in one direction or the other, I am getting a no. The Tower. Something about a stalemate here or like an impasse. Pragati, I'm getting a no that you should not continue Astor Public School. Kevin, I am getting a yes. The 9 of Pentacles, this talks about an independent energy. So it's possible that he may think you want to be on your own or sow your wild oats. Lily, I'm getting a no. I'm getting a no, 10 of Wands. Remember, if you donated, you are allowed to ask a yes or no question. That does not impact your ability to get a free question with me. Sarifa, I think it's still undecided. I have a maybe, 7 of Swords. Maybe if he gets some time away by himself, he'll be able to reach out to you. Amber. So the thing about dreams, Amber, you do have to discern for yourself. If Kayla is someone you don't ever think about, it's very rare for them to cross your mind. Or if you're not thinking about them in this way from day to day on a daily basis. So basically, if this dream came as a complete shock to you, more confusion than anything, because you're like, I don't think of her this way, and I don't think about her often either, then I'm getting a yes. But keep in mind that your dreams are fueled by your subconscious. So if your subconscious is leaning any way into this, meaning that you are not objective to this dream, then it could be also a mix of your own feelings as well. Precious, I am getting a yes. 10 of Cups. Amy, the only thing I can think of is, he's in another world. He's doing his own thing now. He's, unfortunately can't be here the way that you'd want him to be. We can sometimes idealize people who have passed on and think of them as someone who's omnipresent, like a god. Think of them as like someone who's around all of the time, who can be available to you 24/7, and that's just not the case. So he could be having to I don't know, whatever they do on the other side. He could be possibly, I also think too, really quickly before I get to morning, when you do mediumship, you can't always guarantee that person's going to step forward and have someone, you can hope that someone's going to step forward, but you might get someone else, like you can't guarantee that person's going to come through. So I do feel like in some regard, he has free will on the other side. And he also has access to like all of consciousness. He's not blocked by an ego anymore. And so he may feel that it's best for you to step away, and he may feel like, he's got another mission now in life, or not in life, in the afterlife. Like he has other things to focus his attention on. There's the mysteries of the world, but I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. Morning, I am getting a yes. 2 of Wands. It's indicating that some decisions will impact how good of a week you'll have. The decisions that you make. If you donated, I will be updating the list momentarily. I do know that some donations have come in, and I will let you know the order as soon as I get a chance to do that. You're welcome, Hood Mystic. Svetlana, I love this for you. I got the Magician and Justice. So considering we're talking about contracts and you got the Justice card, I feel like that means success, that no obstacles are in your way. You have the power here. Justice does talk about contracts and contractual obligations as well, and it indicates that you're going to get what's owed to you, or you're going to get what you deserve to get. So I like that. A bug storm? What the heck is a bug storm? Oh, Amy. Wow. Okay. That sounds good. You're welcome, Lily. We're almost done with free reads. It's about to close. Ray, I am getting a yes. Ace of Pentacles. This indicates someone trying to seize an opportunity whenever they can for this. So whenever he sees an opening, I suppose he's asking about you. Sarifa, I know you're driving. I'm here. I'm just letting you know I'm seeing that you're typing to me. James, let's see. James is yes, no. James, that sounds good. Sarifa, I know you're still typing, so I'm saving your messages. Hey, Ashley, thank you for liking. You're welcome, precious. Guys, just keep in mind too, this eclipse coming up is very intense. We're going to be going through a lot of growing pains. We probably have already started to feel these effects. We are, living creatures on this planet, and other planets do affect us, and other natural phenomenons affect us as well. So just keep that in mind. James, I am getting a yes. Temperance. This is wanting to bring balance back and peace back into the connection. I also have the Ace of Pentacles, which is someone wanting to make an offer. So I feel like that's a yes. Or extend like an olive branch. So that's a yes for the question you asked. All right, Ashley. Ashley, I am getting a yes. If it makes sense for you, it is the Knight of Cups. So if this is a romantic connection or a potentially romantic connection, this could be an offer to spend more time with you, such as like a date or something along those lines. You're welcome, Amber. You're welcome, Morning. You're welcome, Svetlana. Sarifa. Okay, I will take a look at what you're saying in just a second. You're welcome, Ashley. We are going to be moving on to donations shortly. Sienna, I am getting a maybe. I think that this is something, Four of Pentacles, Two of Swords. I think this is something that this person wants to leave open as an option for them, because it's like something that they can see that if they do this or they do that and they've got all of this in order, that one day in the future they will be ready, or feel more ready than they do now. So this is definitely like a seesaw situation where as long as things go their way, they'll land here. But if two things are too much up in the air, then they're not going to be certain. So I feel like when they say they, want to have kids in the future, I do think that they mean that. But I think that it brings them comfort to say, oh, yes, but like, in the future, like down the road somewhere, because they're very much not ready right now. right, let's take a look at donations really quickly. Dodger, so sorry, our free list just closed. You're welcome, Sienna. Rhonda, our free list just closed. I'm sorry. This is a limited live stream. So that means our donations are only open for a short time, and our free list was open for 15 minutes and it just closed. Okay, so Sarifa, really quickly, I just read your question. I can touch on some of those topics. It is multiple questions. I know that you donated for a BOGO. You're asking, what has he been up to? What is he thinking about you? What is the conversation he wants to have? What is the outcome? And so I do feel like that's a fully loaded reading. I will touch on those questions, but I can't dedicate like a spread towards each thing, just because that would require like 2 BOGOs. So it's fine what you donated, but just keep in mind that it'll be more like mini readings for each question rather than like in depth. So I hope, okay, good. You said that's fine. Okay, so James donated for 2 mini and love option 2 posting questions. Okay, so the first person on the donation list that I have is Amy. Oh, Dodger, thank you so much for the feedback. Thank you. I hope you have a great day. And just a reminder, guys, the donation list will also close soon in about 10 minutes. Amy, if you're here, please check in. We're going to give her maybe 1 more minute and then we're going to move on to Sarifa. So Sarifa, if you want to be here for your reading, sit tight. I do know that Amy said that she was going to be busy doing some prep for something. So she said to just skip her if she's not here. Dark Star, hi, welcome in. I'm so sorry to say our free list is closed. This is a limited live stream. We're working on donations right now. You're more than welcome to donate or try again for a free reading. As long as you get here early within the first 15 minutes, you'll be able to get your question answered. All right, we are going to move on from Amy. We are going to work on Sarifa. Okay. wanted to fill you in what's going on. Eddie was upset with me over some miscommunication between my best friend and I. He said he wanted to talk to me about what's been going on with mine. Our birthday reservations ended up being canceled. I haven't heard from him since Friday. That's a long time. It's a long time to not hear from someone. I saw he's read my messages, seen my latest story last night, but he hasn't reached out. I was just wondering. James, okay, that sounds good. See my stories, but hasn't reached out. I was just wondering what he's been up to. Okay. All right. Got it. Hey, Amy. I've already started channeling into Sarifa, so just sit tight for me, okay? I'm going to have to get back to you in just a minute. James, when it's your turn, I will take a look and read for you on Instagram. My best friend is... Wait. Who's your husband, Sarifa? Wait, your best friend is your husband's best friend? Is Eddie your husband? I thought you guys... Oh, okay, because I was like, I thought that you and Eddie just started talking like not that long ago. Okay, so your late husband. So you met through your husband, maybe? Through your late husband? You and your best friend? Oh, I see, because she was feeling, he or she was feeling maybe, no, I don't know what the word is, territorial, maybe? I don't know. Because like of, you know, your late husband being the best friend. I know that's not the right word, but... Wow, I'm getting very confused all of a sudden, all over again. We had a fallout 6 months ago. Who had a fallout? You and who? He thought that Eddie was a cocky person, so he got overprotective. Okay, so your best friend, is that Matt? I'm just trying to make sure I understand this correctly. Is your best friend Matt? Okay, so you and Matt are best friends, and you had a mutual connection, which is your late husband. And through hanging out with Matt, you have met Matt's friend, who is also Eddie's roommate. And that's how you met Eddie. And Matt is feeling overprotective of you, feeling that he knows Eddie better or he knows Eddie differently, and is trying to explain to you that he's cocky, and there's been some kind of miscommunication between you and Matt and Eddie. And now Eddie is like removing himself essentially from the equation right now because you haven't talked to him since Friday. So for Matt to make an assumption about Eddie, barely knowing him, is kind of like offensive, and also you don't know him, so you're not 100% in the right here. Okay, let me see. All right, let's shuffle real quick. What has Eddie been up to? 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 Matt apologized to me last week over everything. We ended up catching up for lost time. Okay. Wow. Okay. That's good because you haven't talked in like a while. What has he been up to? Oh my God. You got into a fight again? Jesus. This is crazy. So there's an indication here that I feel like Eddie kind of wants to like stay out of this right now. He's like, I know this is about me, but this isn't entirely about me. I know that Matt is very overprotective of you, but I think that Matt's feelings could be a little bit confused right now because he probably feels some type of responsibility to your late husband to look out for you. And if he even sees any kind of display of a negative characteristic from someone that you're talking to, he feels like he needs to intervene. He may not know Eddie that well, but I feel like he's probably seen something that made him question. So even though he doesn't know Eddie that well, he felt it was his place to be concerned because of however Eddie came off, certainly made an impression. And this could have been an isolated incident. However, it's clearly affecting Matt's impression of Eddie. So Matt is feeling some type of obligation to your late husband to look out for you, and felt probably too that his connection with you might be a little threatened as well. And this is strictly on a very platonic level, but imagine that if Matt had more feelings for you than he was letting on, this could get very complicated. So we're going to just keep it very basic for the sake of this reading. But right now I'm definitely picking up like overprotective and like also threatening our relationship a little bit. And now Matt's narrative is that, see, I told you. Like, I told you he wasn't a good person. Now we've had a falling out. We haven't talked in X amount of time. And like, he's still a problem in our relationship. And so, in Matt's narrative, is that this is only proving his point even further, probably. So, with that being said, from Eddie's perspective, because I don't know all that he knows, but right now I think he's just trying to stay out of it. I think maybe he's starting to question the nature of your relationship with Matt. He might not really understand like what he did wrong. He might not understand why like this is even happening right now. I feel like something is kind of saying he's off doing his own thing, just trying to keep his nose clean. And when we did the yes or no question earlier, I felt like if he had a moment to himself, like if he found a moment to himself to step away and communicate with you, I feel like he would. There clearly just hasn't been a moment where he felt like he had enough free time to dedicate to this conversation, and maybe he feels like it's too important to just like call you on a lunch break because he knows that it's not going to be resolved in a short amount of time. And when Matt's apologized to me for what occurred and really wanted to be supportive about my connection. Oh, hold on, I missed something. So you said yes to both, barely knows Eddie. Matt apologized to me last week. Within that time, we got into an argument. So that's when I wanted to talk to Eddie after the argument. but the argument was still going on. So that's where the confusion lies between Eddie, where he thinks I'm lying. Got you. Yeah, I think Eddie honestly is just like wholeheartedly confused. I think that he doesn't know what to think. He doesn't know what to believe. And so clearly, I think he's just trying to right now stay out of it, while you and Matt kind of try to resolve whatever's going on, if that's even something that can be done right now. And I think that right now, Eddie is just trying to figure out a way and a time to communicate with you where it will be uninterrupted and he doesn't have other obligations. I think that he's really just trying to keep his nose clean. I think he's trying to stay out of it. And I do think the nature of your relationship with Matt is a little bit confusing for Eddie. Because I think it's making him question where he stands. Because, in a sense, Sarifa, you feel torn probably between Eddie and Matt sometimes. You might feel like you can only have one or the other. And Eddie might feel like, well, why isn't Sarifa like taking my side / why isn't she telling me everything? And I think, and then Matt's just kind of there. And I think he's also feeling threatened about his connection with you too. But just like, I think Eddie, I don't know, something tells me he wants to give you the benefit of the doubt because I have the Ace of Wands, Emperor, Queen of Wands. So I feel like it's like he feels like you guys could be great together. But right now he's the Eight of Swords. He doesn't know what to think. He doesn't know what to believe. I think he's caught up in his own head. I do think that it's important that he allows himself to have a conversation with you. So that way, you can clear up as much as you want. The issue with Eddie is that if he feels like you weren't being truthful or 100% transparent, I think he wonders, well, will this conversation clear things up anymore and make me feel like I can trust her anymore? And that's, I think, a little bit confusing for him. So I feel like that is like what the conversation is that he wants to have. I think he wants to talk to you about how he's feeling about all of this. His impression of Matt, his impression of how things have been handled. I think that it's not easy from Eddie's perspective, because there's no clean way to resolve this issue. When someone has a problem with you, the way that Matt does, Matt has a chip on his shoulder, and even if Matt completely gets over that, there's always going to be this bad taste there, and there's no way so there's no way for Eddie to really like get a clean break from this guy, because so long as you're in his life and he's also in your life, then they're in each other's life. And I think that's where things are feeling a bit cloudy. I do feel like Eddie's just trying to figure out how he feels about everything too, without your influence, without your conversation influencing him. Now, I do feel like if there's been a misunderstanding and you guys have been talking for so long, he does owe you to hear you out, to try to understand the situation better. But he's feeling, and I think too, from your perspective, it seems like you think that you can fix it. Like you're probably thinking to yourself, if I have a conversation with him, I can explain everything to him and like I can fix this. It's just like I need him to communicate with me so that way we can get there, so we can do that. But for him, I think his issue is trust, and it's very possible that didn't start with you. It's very possible that he just has an issue with trust, period. And so this is only fueling that distrusting narrative that he has probably with other people. So I think that could be a little bit confusing for him, because now he's like, well, can I believe her? And I think that it's definitely worth a conversation, which I think that he intense on having with you. It's just a matter of when can I find the time where I know, he's saying, when can I find the time where I know I'm not going to be interrupted? And on top of that, when she's available to talk to me, like if we're, once I find the time to set aside to really like focus on this, will she be available at that time? Will our schedules align, All right. How will they move forward from this conversation? How will they move forward with this conversation? So I'm definitely hearing like apologies, trying to bring like some type of clarity to the situation. I think someone's coming into the conversation. It might be you, feeling very like passionate. You're coming across very like, oh, like this has been building up. I just need to like talk to you. Like, I hope that you'll hear me out. I hope that we get clarity. There's like one person that's just coming for this, like very much like, and when I say enthusiastic and excited, I don't necessarily mean happy. I just mean like they're coming with energy to the conversation. And I do feel like there's an expression on his part where he does feel like he can honestly and openly tell you what's been going on in his mind and how he's been feeling. I do feel like we're guarded here. You both might be, but I think especially him, because the Nine of Wands is next to King of Cups, and this is where it's like, I've been through a lot. Like, I feel like I hear him saying that he like might consider another chance for you guys. He might say, but like, this is it though. Like, if something else happens, I can't keep putting myself through this with this person. So I feel like for him, I think you got an in. I do. I feel like you guys, like, there's room here for one more chance. But we can't blow it. Like, this theme that's going on right now, this triangle of tension between the three of you cannot continue, because once he starts seeing that it's becoming a pattern, then he's gonna like want to run away. So I do think that you have an in, meaning I do think that he's here wanting to give you another chance, or maybe not just you, because that sounds a little condescending, but like wanting to give this another shot, like your relationship another chance. And as I say that, I have the Lovers. So I think it's just a matter of communication, finding the right opportunity to talk where you guys are both in the right headspace. And you guys are very both open, but I think that he will be kind of laying down the law a little bit. I think that he's going to kind of tell you what he's thinking and tell you what he's feeling. And, even if you guys walk away saying, oh, well, we're going to work through this, we're going to fix this and move forward together, I still think he's going to be like, but this cannot keep happening. I do think there's going to be an element of him saying like, either you have to figure it out and keep him away from me and don't tell me about things so that you and I can foster a relationship, or I don't know. I mean, he might give an ultimatum. I don't think that would be wise. I think that would be putting you in a very bad place. Especially because Matt is a link to someone who is very dear to you, and that you lost, and you've also known longer. So I don't think that Eddie should do that. I don't think that's his place to do that or to question that. But he might say like, I just don't want to hear about it. I don't want to be, a part of that. And my only hope for you is that Matt eventually comes around and like gets over it, because if this is someone you're trying to build a life with, Matt eventually has to ease up a bit from his perspective. So It's tough. It's a tough situation that you're in, but that's like basically what I'm picking up for you, Sarifa. You're welcome, Sarifa. Okay, Instagram. All right, I've really got to hustle. I just realized that I forgot to close my list at 30 minutes. Okay. Aw, that's so sweet. Oh, I'm so happy. You'll have to tell me how it goes because I haven't gotten a reading from her before, Amy. So, Amy, my recommendation going into this is to just try to be as much as at peace as you can. Dedicate, at least 15, 20 minutes beforehand where you're just thinking about him only, maybe holding on to the objects or keeping like personal items of his near you during the reading tonight, asking him to step forward for you. Like just say, I really need to hear from you. And if it's in our best interest that you step forward and communicate with me, like that is really going to help me find closure, so really talk to him, like send him like an email with your mind, or a letter with your mind, and ask him, to please be there for you. Now, keep in mind, if you've had other people pass away, they might be the ones that are there tonight. You might not hear from Eli. So going into it without expectations is important, but setting that intention and trying to see if at all he would be willing to step forward for you is definitely something I recommend doing, and asking for. Sarifa said, thanks, I appreciate that. I needed another perspective, but that's how I'm most of it. Yeah, that's tough, Sarifa. I'm really sorry you're going through that. It's really tough to be between best friends and lovers. It's not a new dynamic of tension there, so I'm really sorry. I posted the donation list in the chat if you guys want to know where you're at on it, and I'm trying to get these readings done within the next 20 minutes. All right, let's see. All right, paper messages from Eli. Ooh, so we have anticipate and disclose. So maybe he's waiting in anticipation to provide more information to you. So that could be, Amy, that he's in the waiting room, waiting for his turn to communicate with you. Wow, that's interesting. I saw the word crave, but I heard the word grave. I know that he's not buried, but is there like a resting place for him? Like, is he at someone's house? Did they like toss his ashes? Like what happened here? Because there's something here about like a place, or maybe he's referencing the place where he literally passed away, possibly. Let's see. Yeah, I thought he was going to be cremated. So he says physical hug and nurture. Hugs keep coming through for your connection with him. So I feel like it's his way of saying, like, I do try to give you postcards. I try to give you hugs. I try to, like have you feel me, even though I know you can't. It's like energetically, I'm trying to send you, like when people are at a distance and they say I'm sending you a virtual hug, it's like, you can't feel them, but the sentiment is there, and I feel like that's what he's trying to say. Well, the reason I was asking is because he said happy country, and so I don't know if he's still, like, if his ashes are still in Georgia. As far as I know, Georgia's a very like rural place. So, country, happy country, maybe he's still there. I don't know. But I feel like he's just saying like, I'm good. Like I'm fine. Like I'm figuring things out, but I'm okay. Happy country. Like I'm happy where I am, or I'm okay. Maybe he's saying like I'm okay that this happened. I don't know. I feel like he did pass before obviously he expected to, and while he went through that adjustment period. But there's kind of like this message coming in right now of like he kind of knew, like an inner knowing. Maybe consciously he didn't know, but there was like this inner knowing that he might die young, or something like that. Or maybe like after his passing, he realized that that was a contract. Like he made that decision to do that. I don't know. I don't really know. But I feel like he's saying like I'm okay, and kind of like how he might have already known that this might happen, something like this might happen to him. It's good. I'm glad, because I asked him just to hug me. Yeah, you get hug a lot. You do. You've been listening to country music. Well, see here, this is how you fill in the blanks. And I think that's what mediumship is that sometimes you can just get like sounds or visions or something like that. And then, yeah. And so that's how it's like important that you fill in the blanks. We have floral scents. I think he sees you sometimes when you're at work. So maybe he's saying he's happy when you listen to country music, possibly. Maybe that's what it is. We also have aware. So I think that's important that you know that he is still around sometimes. He's saying now uncertain. So I think that as far as like his trajectory on the other side, like what he's doing, I think he's not quite sure. He's taking things slow. And he says reunion you. I think that's where I'm going to end it. Reunion you. So that's saying that he is going to reunite with you in some way. That could be very short term, like for your reading that you're getting tonight, or that could be like very literally. Amy, so that is what I've got for you, girl. I'm gonna go read. I'm sorry, I'm in a hurry. I'm gonna go read James's message really quickly, and then we'll get to it. Thank you, Amy. Thanks, Amy. Have a good day. Definitely go eat. So, James, this is what I want to do. It's a lot of screenshots, and I honestly want to like read it all. So, if it's okay with you, I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do like a not necessarily like a private reading with you, but I'm going to do your donation that you always do, but I'm going to just make a specific live stream for you personally that either you can join me for tonight, or I can just send it to you and you can watch the recording. So it'll basically be like we did it here, but it'll allow me to spend more time reading those messages before I do your reading to understand the energies a little bit better. So let me know if that's okay with you. And if it is, I'll get that sent over to you tonight when I have a chance to like read over everything that was sent back and forth, because I really want to like put my focus onto it for sure. So what I'll do is I'll send you a message via Instagram when I'm about to get started on your reading, and then you can either join me while I do it, or I can just send you the link and you can just go to that link and watch it. Okay, perfect. That sounds great. Okay, so the other person I need to do a reading for is Ray. Perfect. Thanks, James. I appreciate it. I was like, I just don't know if I'll be able to read all this before I get his reading done. Ray, so you can post, and then after that, guys, I am going to go ahead and sign off for now. I'll probably be back later on tonight. So, Ray, if you're here, you can post. Let me know what your question is. And then, James, I will definitely be messaging you in a little while. Okay, so Ray says, what type of information have T retrieved about me to mutual friends? What type of information has T retrieved talking to mutual friends? Ray, I don't know if there's specific details about like what he has or hasn't retrieved. Just because you try to retrieve information doesn't mean you're actually going to get it. But I am going to let you know like the topics that have been discussed. And one of the things I have here is the Queen of Swords. So this talks about how the mutual friends are probably saying how, or certain ones, it could even be like one specifically, has been saying that they feel like you've been distant lately, or that you've been keeping your distance lately. There could be some aspects to you that maybe if you're not happy with someone, like one of the mutual friends, like they are sensing that disconnect or that distance from you. Or maybe they're saying that, she's really trying to protect her energy. She hasn't been around as much or not spending as much time. They feel like you're a very like forthright, honest person, but that can come across like very blunt, like where you're not considering like how the things that you say might come across. So they might be talking about like how you've been lately or how you've been acting lately, but something comes across as like she's keeping us at a distance, or maybe even they're saying we're keeping her at a distance. I'm not sure, but it just kind of feels like the general theme is like, if he asks, they're like, oh yeah, like, we haven't seen her much lately, or she hasn't really come around lately. Or like I don't know. It's just like this feeling of, you said, I have not been talking to our mutual friend Jay as much. I still talk, but distant. Yeah. So like they're not feeling that warmth in your connection. And the Four of Pentacles here is kind of like they're keeping you're clear. It's very clear to them that you're not as open as you used to be. Four of Pentacles, like, you're keeping your private things private. You're not really telling people. You're not really confiding in people. You're keeping things to yourself, your business to yourself. And you might be talking about like, surface level things. He might be asking about your love life. He might be trying to inquire, what's going on with you personally. Because I see the Lovers and the Four of Wands. I don't think he's getting much information here because, again, they're saying, well, she's keeping her stuff private, but I think this might be a question that he's asking, or he might try to peer a little bit further into like how things going on at home for you, because I have the Four of Wands here. So maybe asking like information about your day-to-day, or like, oh, well, what has she been up to? I could hear that be a question that he asks. Or like if they bring up your name, and topic of conversation, and he's in earshot, his ears might perk up to try to see, like, without asking, what is being said, about you. Or he might be like, oh, well, oh, wait, you talking about Ray, or whatever name you go by in real life? You talking about Ray? Oh yeah, how's she been? What's she been up to? I feel, but it's like with the underlying intention of trying to figure out what's going on in your personal life. Not that he's necessarily gaining much information. The last card here is the Fool. So it is talking about, oh, he might be like, oh, she been seeing anyone lately? I feel like, again, he's trying to come across very aloof here. With the Fool is like, oh, I'm chill, I'm cool, like, I'm good. I don't really care. I'm not necessarily invested in this. I'm just trying to figure, I'm trying to have a conversation. Like, I feel like he's really trying to come off very aloof, like he doesn't really care, but maybe he cares more than he's trying to act like he is, and just trying to get some information. So like I said, I don't know if he's like actually getting answers, but I do feel like these are some of the topics that might have been discussed. So Ray, that is what I have for you. Let me know if you have any questions about that. I am going to go ahead and sign off here in just a second. Does it bother him that you're distant? Yes. I cut the deck and I got the Five of Pentacles. So I do feel like he's in this place of feeling like he's on the outside of you and doesn't really know what's going on. And something feels almost like he may not have been in this place before with you. Maybe it's an adjustment, or it's uncomfortable or confusing for him to feel like he's on the outside of things, because maybe he felt at one point he was on the inside. Maybe at one point he felt like he did know what was going on with you, and so that's like a difficult thing for him to adjust to. So I would say, yeah, all in all, it does seem to affect him. Ray, thank you so much for your donation. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. For your donation, I appreciate you. List is closed, guys. We are signing off now. Ray, I hope you have a great rest of your night. Anybody else who's hanging out here, I will see you guys next time.